This is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to day number 2 of my Sale-A-Bration sneak peeks. So last night I ended up showing you guys, let me just bring this out here, the kerchief card kit that came with all these cards that I created with you. I showed you how to create using the directions that came with the kit. Tonight I am going to be doing a sneak peek on the Little Ladybug stamp set. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy. I have 3 cards to show you. Now before I get started on showing my cards, we do have 2 catalogs starting on January 3rd, the Sale-A-Bration and the mini catalog. I can't show you anything on the inside yet. I'm still trying to get my iPad going too as I talk here. So as far as Sale-A-Bration, if you're new to Stampin' Up or new to me as a customer, once a year for 3 months, January to March, Stampin' Up has a Sale-A-Bration brochure that has lots of products on the inside that you can earn for free with every $50 that you purchase. So if you're not working with a demonstrator and need catalogs, please let me know. So as far as the Little Ladybug, I wanted to announce that I am also part of a brand new team called the Demo Design Dream Team. We are a bunch of Stampin' Up demonstrator that are all doing 1 card per month, and we're going to offer these to our customers and our team members. And I happen to have picked the Little Ladybug stamp set for my featured set this month, and I wanted to show you my card. I can't show you the rest of what the team has made, but this is the one that I made. I used some purple posy to go with the lovely lipstick. Isn't that color combination cute? And I used some of the new faceted gems there in the background. So this is the stamp set I am featuring tonight. Let me just scroll down here to see if I can catch you guys. Okay, I have you guys on. I can see you finally. So what I am actually doing tonight, I'm making 3 cards. I am actually casing, copy and share everything from the inside of the Sale-A-Bration catalog, which I can't show you. So if you don't have the catalog yet, you're going to see 3 samples that I'm going to show you how to make from the catalog. So let me get out my supplies for the first one. Now, because of time, we do not have dies to cut all of these images out. So I've gone ahead and prepared them ahead of time. You can see here that I stamped 2 of the large flower image and 1 of the Little Ladybug. So I've got this image and the large flower image. I used Memento ink, which is what I'm using for all 3 cards. I fussy cut, and I know you guys don't like to fussy cut, a lot of you, but this was easy. You've got some nice clean lines to follow. Very easy. So for my card base on the first card, I've got 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. My next layer is 5 1/4 by 4, and I've gone ahead and embossed with one of our new embossing folders. And of course I didn't bring the name with me. It's escaping me right now. Now this folder, what I've been doing with my thicker folders, because we do need the special bluish, purplish cutting pad or embossing pad, I am now using a marker to mark just a little scribble line so that I know which pad to use when I'm running this through my machine. Let me show you a close-up. Isn't that pretty? If anybody knows the name of this, I don't have it at my fingertips, just shout it out so everybody can know. I'm using a piece of designer paper. This measures 4 1/4 by 3. Now this paper is from, I showed this earlier, from a sampler. It has all these pretty papers in it. This is a little sampler of all the designer papers that are in the new mini catalog. This paper you can earn for free along with the little mini trimmer when you join the Stampin' Up family. I'm going to be featuring this tomorrow night, so I'm going to explain this more tomorrow night. But look how cute this little trimmer is. So join me tomorrow and you'll see some tips on using the new trimmer. First thing I'm going to do is glue my embossed layer using Stampin' Dimensionals. And you know me, I love to use dimensionals. When I do layer upon layer in the same cardstock color, I like to use Stampin' Dimensionals just for height. It gives off a little bit of a shadow and it just looks so much better. Okay, so look how good that looks when it's layered with dimensionals. Now, I gotta hold off just for a second. I gotta find the page I'm using, which I can't show you. Now, the next step, I'm going to go ahead and glue the designer paper. That's going to go right in the center. Next, I'm going to be embossing on Real Red. Now, this is going to be a small banner. It measures 2.5 by 1 1/4. The sentiment I'm using on this one says, spread your wings and fly. Versamark ink. Let me do my little embossing buddy first. And I'm going to bring in my white embossing powder. Nope, it's crooked. I didn't get that on the first try. Let's try that again. Oh, much better. You know, I always tell my customers there's 2 sides to the cardstock. Now I'm going to bring in my heat tool. It's just going to take a few seconds to heat up and then it'll go really quickly. Now, how do you guys earn this stamp set? This is not a stamp set that you can purchase. Only demonstrators can purchase this stamp set right now. So how you're going to be able to earn this during Sale-A-Bration is by hosting a party or placing an order on your own or with friends and family to equal 300, and you can earn this for free. Okay, now I'm going to glue this in place with dimensionals. But first I'm going to go ahead and do my tree, or my trees, yeah. Okay, I've got dark Mango Melody, and I've got light Real Red and dark Real Red. All I'm going to do to the flowers is color the center, just to add a little bit of color. These are the stamping blends. And we're going to also glue these in place with dimensionals. Now for you guys that are sometimes stuck not knowing where to start creating, dig out your catalog. When I get a new catalog with some new stamp sets, that's one of the first things I do. I like to copy some of the cards in the catalog. Now I've gone ahead and glued that down. I've made this banner a little bit larger than what's on the catalog. I just like this size. And then I'm going to color my little ladybug. I should have started with the dark. I always start with the dark. I can still go ahead and blend that. I'm going to blend where these 2 colors meet. And all I'm doing is coloring the little wings. So you can see that the images are mostly all black and white. Next, we're going to glue the little ladybug in place. And that's going to go right here. And then lastly on this one, I'm just going to add some rhinestone jewels. Add a little bit of bling. I just have a little piece that I had left over from a class that I'm using. And that's all I'm going to do on this card. They did have some twine on the background, but I opted just to leave it this way. I like the way it looks with just the cardstock. Isn't that pretty? Mostly black and white, but it really pops with the red and the designer paper in the background. Now, let me go ahead and set up for card number 2. I want to put the lid on my embossing powder because you know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. Okay, here's some nice colors for card number 2. And I'm going to be using the, let me see, Daffodil Delight Light and Dark. We've got some new crinkle ribbon in Whisper White. And it's all crinkled, as you can see. Some of you guys probably are going to dig out your flat iron to flatten this out, but I like the look. We've got some new sequins. These are called Peaceful Poppies. I showed this earlier. They come in all these beautiful colors. I actually have 4 of the clear ones already picked out. I've got Purple Posy ink and Highland Heather ink. And for this one, I'm using this Little Ladybug. I'm using the flower image again. And then Hey Lady for my little sentiment layer. Now, let me go ahead and clean my flower because I'm not going to be using Memento on this one. Let me move my little sequins so I don't lose them. This is Mint Macaron, 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5.5. And then this is some new designer paper called Best Dressed. And let me see if I can show you some of the sheets. These are so pretty. So I can't remember. I think there's 4 of each sheet because I kind of split this in 2. There's some nice striped. It's got a lot of the Purple Posy color in it. Look how pretty this one is. This is the one I'm using today. So I'm just quickly going to go through these. Look how pretty. A lot of flowered designs on these. And then we have a few of the plain sheets. And I am doing a product share right now where you get a 1/4 of everything. A 1/4 of all the papers, a 1/4 of all the embellishments and ribbons. Look at these rich colors. Look at this, neat. So I'm just kind of trying to go through these quickly for you so you can see all the beautiful patterns and colors. Okay, so that's the Best Dressed designer paper. Now this measures 5.5 by 3.5, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that to the front of my card. And I'm just going to barely leave about 1/4 of an inch on the right hand side, probably more like 1/8 of an inch. Let me see, I just need to trim off just a little bit. Just a hair. Okay, next I've got the dies from the Stitch Staped Labels. This one measures across 4 5/8, and I've cut that with Whisper White. Now this is where I'm going to be using Purple Posy to stamp the flower. And you guys will get to see all these cards when you receive your catalogs if you haven't already. This is just going to go off to the right, very light stamping. And then we're going to bring in the Memento Black. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp the ladybug. And this time we're going to color with Daffodil Delight. I'm going to start out with the dark. Whoops, wrong end. Now, even though I have some lines there, they're going to disappear when I start coloring. And then I'm just going to blend the 2 colors together. And then lastly, we're going to do the little center of the flower. So you can see here, as you keep rubbing, those lines do disappear. And that's it for coloring on that one. This is a really quick card. I'm going to actually wrap the ribbon around the front and then tie that into a bow. Teresa, may I ask where you get your die holders? So you're talking about, I'm assuming, these little pockets. I can tell you right now where it is. Hold on. I get them, it's called Stamp Storage Pockets. If you look for Totally Tiffany, I think she's on Facebook, and she also has a website. This is where I get all, and you just put your little labels to labels. And when I have big sets like this one, I actually put 2 magnets back to back. I buy my magnets on Amazon. So I'm assuming that's what you're asking. Okay, now let me finish my bow. I lost the end of my ribbon. There it is. I just want to make a little tiny bow and then cut that off. I need my ribbon scissors. And then I'm going to move this over to the left. And where is my stamped layer? Right here. I'm going to glue that in place. This card is really simple. Just a few layers. And you can actually either put the die cut under the ribbon or over. I'm going to go under the ribbon and opt to put it right there. And lastly, I'm going to bring in Highland Heather. Stamp the Hey Lady. I allowed myself extra just in case I messed up, but this time it worked out really well. I'm going to trim off the excess. And then I'm going to add some more dimensionals. This is going to go right above the ribbon. And then I'm going to bring in my glue dots and add a little bit of bling with the clear sequins. Now, if you use the bigger sized ones, they're perfect to use with our glue dots. Let's see, I got one more here. I'm gonna add, let's see, I think I'm gonna turn this into a 3 cluster. Okay, and there's card number 2. Isn't that pretty with the purple posy? Okay, we've got one more card to go. Very easy when I have everything all cut out ahead of time. Now this one is going to be the more detailed one. We got some blends markers, Pool Party ink, and then I've got 4 stamp images. Now this does not belong to the Little Ladybug set. It actually belongs to the lovely Lily Pad. It's one of the dies from the Lily Pad dies. It's actually a little bit different than what they used in the catalog, but I love this die so much I used it yesterday. I mean, look how pretty that is. So I opted to use this one instead. And the card in the catalog is a square card, and I opted to stay with our regular size. So again, 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. This is Pool Party. I'm using Pool Party ink, and this is the Little Ladybug. It can be used as a border image. I'm actually going to stamp it throughout the background. I think I'll just go in straight lines. Very easy to stamp. I'm just eyeballing everything. You could use the Stamparatus when you do this. Oops, I need one more right here. Now, next is One of the designer papers, again, from the Best Dressed. This measures 4 by 1.5. I have a second sheet of the Pool Party cardstock, and you know what? I did this completely wrong. I'm going to use this for the inside of my card. I forgot that in the catalog, they have 1 layer of cardstock, so I'll just keep this for the inside. I opted to add a second layer for more layering. This is what I was supposed to stamp on. So I'm going to start over. You can see how quickly I did that. This is the one that should have had the stamping on it. So as we were talking about at the beginning of the video, when you need ideas, go to your catalog, copy some of the projects, and I always like to change things up like I'm doing here. I'm adding an extra layer of cardstock just because I felt it needed it. Okay, there, this is it's piece number 2 that you need to add the stamped images on if you want to go ahead and copy this card. Let me add 2 more to the middle. So 3 cards, and I'm only what? I am 20 minutes into my video, and I've got 3 cards for you, almost all completed. But then again, I had everything all cut out for you. Stamped and cut out. Now let's go ahead and add this. Now doesn't that look better than just having just a 1 sheet? I like the 2 layers like I did here. Okay, let's continue on. So I gave you the measurements of the designer paper. That's going to be the next layer we're going to glue on. Actually, I'm going to wait. I need to do this one. Now, this is some little grass that I started creating. I'm going to show you how to do that. This is just 1 inch wide. I added tear and tape at the top. I'm going to trim the size that I need. We used to have fringe scissors, but we don't anymore. So all I do is just quickly go up to my tear and tape and make some snips. Now I'm going to peel this, and this is where I'm going to add my designer paper, and then I'm going to trim what I don't need, and then I'm just going to kind of just fluff it up like this, and it looks like little grasses. And I should have cut this. I forget this one was a little too long. I should have cut this or glued this down before I added this piece. So let me just go ahead and trim this. Okay, so there's that. Next, we're going to use the little circle. And I am going to use You're So Sweet. And that's with Lovely Lipstick. That's going to go about here, just eyeballing. And again, we're going to add dimensionals. So you can see I'm using a lot of dimensionals tonight. I'm not disappointing you. I didn't show you the cute little ladybugs I'm using too. This is going to go right here. Now look at these little cuties. I went ahead and colored one already. So again, these were stamped with Memento ink. The colors I am using is light petal pink, dark So Saffron, dark Lovely Lipstick, and dark Purple Posy. So the Lovely Lipstick is what I used on the little wings. Very quick to color. I'm actually not blending on this one because it's so small. You don't need to blend. A little bit of Purple Posy, the little hands, the little feet. And then we've got the daffodil for the flower. And the petal pink is very subtle. I just colored 2 stripes. And then I added 2 little cheeks. And let me see if I can bring these close up so you guys can see them. Look how cute these little critters are. Okay, so now, guess what? More dimensionals. Bring the card back in. This one is going to go right over the sentiment. And then first I'm going to go ahead and glue this in place. Now this is too long. What I like about it, it makes a long strip, and then you can just cut off what you don't need. A little bit of glue. And that's going to go right here below the sentiment. And then we've got the second ladybug who's going to be sitting right on that. And okay, now I gotta find my rhinestone jewels that I used on card number 1, and guess what? I don't know what I did with them. Let me just dig another set out. And we're going to add some more bling in the background. And that'll be it for card number 3. Okay, how's that? Let me just clean off my counter. I'll bring all of the cards back in. And then don't forget that I am also, if you're a customer or a team member of mine, so these are the 3 cards I created tonight. This is the card from the Demo Design Dream Team. You guys are going to get a tutorial on this one, along with a whole bunch of other tutorials. So there's all my little ladybug cards for tonight. Isn't that cute? And tomorrow night, same time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be featuring the little trimmer, the designer paper, and some tips to go with the trimmer. So thanks so much for joining me, everyone. I hope you join me again tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time for sneak peek day number 3. Have a good night, everyone.